Oh, where is it? There it is. That's definitely a hawk. Let me zoom out here. It's up there. Where am I? Yeah, it's a cool hawk. They assume that humans are like components in a machine. That you can all just feed a directive like you're feeding a computer program and get all elements online. But humans are not part of a circuit board. We are organic. We have souls. We don't have square edges. We're not reducible or equal to one another. There's different groups, there's different communities. We don't all think the same way. We can't just be all brought online, you fascist. And that's what it is. You could get, sometimes I think this is Soviet Union 2.0. Sometimes I think this is like 1930s Germany. But of course it's neither. In fact, it's probably far worse, because the technology available to these psychopaths is far better than the technology that was available to those psychopaths in the early 20th century. 20, 30 years from now, or even less, 15 years from now, 10 years, 5 years, are there going to be permanent cameras? Are there going to be permanent drone flyovers? Even in the valleys I talked about, are there going to be drone flyovers now? They could easily put cameras in trees and hide them. They could put a camera in all sorts of places. Maybe they would have to, at first they'll be obvious because they don't want to cause a fuss. But then, before long, they'll just start camouflaging the cameras. So I found out that my grandpa, Robert, is not permitted to go outside his retirement home. He has to stay in at all times. This is after they've already been prohibiting any visitors for going on 4 or 5 weeks now. So no one can go to visit him because they're afraid of germs. And now they're prohibiting their own residents who pay them, because this is basically a private company, who pay them from leaving their own building to go for a walk around the block in a suburb where there's not going to be many pedestrians around. It's a suburbia. The stupidity of this. And he hasn't been able, so this is the real irony here. They're letting him smoke his cigarettes in the room now, despite giving him constant warnings that we're going to kick you out of the home if you keep smoking. Now this virus hysteria comes, and they say, well, we realize that you're going to cause a fuss and you're going to be difficult for us if we don't let you smoke. So you can smoke in your room, but we're going to send a staff member to stand in your room as you have your cigarette. So they're treating us all like kids. That's the thing I wanted to get onto, is they're treating old people like kids. Well, maybe sometimes you have to, but they're treating everyone else like kids. It's demeaning. This is no way to live. You're preventing old people from getting vitamin D from the sun, from getting exercise, from getting fresh air. You're preventing them happiness. You're preventing them from living like they would naturally choose to do at the twilight of their years. But no, because of your fear, and I know because of the government directive, but that depends on your fear. You will not trust in any higher force. You trust in these so-called science experts grasping at magic. You're grasping at magic because you don't trust in any higher force to protect you. So you grasp at this magic science, the pseudoscience, as justification. And it causes you to do the most barbaric things. You treat and you infantilize and treat as infants all citizens. along with this is the idea that we think we can escape death. We can't escape death. Death is part of life. So why would you want to fixate on a few people dying? Like, that's sad, but people are dying of all sorts of other causes, and you can't ultimately stop old people from dying. That's the natural cycle in the universe. Like, people get old and they decline. And fixating on how these old people are dying, when you're putting other people at risk, you're leading to other people having suicides and malnutrition and being more at risk of crime or falling into crime. You're going to have blood on your hands. You're going to have blood on your hands. Where are the sheep broken? All these sheeple, these followers, they must be broken in childhood. Something must happen to them when they're young. Now they're trying to break us in again. This is a breaking in phase. What lockdown is the same as a lockdown in a prison. It's not a coincidence they use the same word. And I even saw an article in the Toronto Star by Bruce Arthur, who's a really he's really something else. He's really something else. He's one of their top ideologues. He toes the mainstream line to the fullest. And he was saying how, well, we're in prison now, but we're going to need some yard time. Like, this was the assumption he was working with. We are in prison. It's true. We know, I know. We are kind of in prison. But, we're going to need some yard time in a little bit because this is getting a bit much. But just so you know, you're in prison because we all messed up. We messed up against the planet. We messed up against ourselves for some reason. It's the assumptions, they work in there. They work it in like a massage. They knead it like bread dough for the pizza. And it's meant to break you in subtly, not explicitly. They're trying, by locking us all away. It doesn't matter if your normal life, you were a hermit in your normal life or not. It hasn't affected me too much. But the fact that they did that to society, that's a psychological attack on everyone in that society. That's saying that you are, it's like just being kicked down, and that's what it's about. There's not really any specific objective they're hoping to accomplish from this. It's just a general objective that will be even more docile for their next steps in the plan. They're going to keep this plan going and going till they have one world government, science cult of so-called experts running the world, eugenics, who knows what they're going to be doing with these vaccines, and total surveillance culture. Hasta luego, amigos.